maybe the next few days?
It was a good day for Mookie. So swinging, moving around, taking grounders, looked normal. So I think for me, just being available tonight, off the bench, late to hit. And then tomorrow, if it goes well, then to potentially have him back in there. But that's all contingent on if he recovers well tonight.
Just visually seeing him, did you feel like he was moving well, kind of with how that toe injury is?
Yeah. I think right now he's kind of got in the training room, got it all prepared, and then there's a little bit of kind of the ramp up to then sit in a game and then cool off, then to go back out there, as opposed to just kind of getting ready and then kind of going through activities. But you know, from my eyes, looking from the pen, he looked pretty normal.
With it now being June, there's a lot of moves just for the bullpen today, but whether it's the next few days, the next week or so, it does feel like some guys could be returning from the injured list. Do you feel like you're kind of starting to get to that time of the season where the bullpen, whether it's rotation, just the pitching staff is working towards getting stronger and stronger?
Yeah, you know what, I think if you look at the last, call it 10 days, I think we've done a good job. Some of it of necessity, some of it intentional in the sense of building these guys up, the starters. And so I think that, that's certainly been very helpful. And we've obviously made some moves and trying to protect downside with the pen. And I think that these guys are in a good spot, having some length also of options. So I think, as a whole, building the starters up, getting our relievers back online, I think this stretch that we're going through, we're pretty good spot with the pitching.
Is Michael Kopech still online to be coming back in the next few days?
He is. He will be in town, still on his rehab, and through yesterday. So I think that for us, the thought was to bring him here and to kind of evaluate, see how he is, and to see when that day is to activate. But there's no hard date yet.
Hey Dave, I'm sure this is a problem that you gladly welcome, but the fact that you don't have the DH spot available for guys like Mookie coming back from the toe, Freddie with the ankle, how much more difficult does that make it in terms of when they come back and their rehab?
It's a little bit more challenging, certainly, but it's of no cost when you have Shohei as your DH. But I think if you do look at any other kind of, where in years past before we got Shohei, you could it's an evolving role that you could kind of manage and fill in with players for matchups or workload, guys coming back. So that's kind of the thing that we just don't have that luxury.
Is Blake Snell getting closer to throwing the bullpen session?
Yeah, he's getting closer. He was out there playing catch today. I could see him getting off the mound this weekend. I could see that, or early next week.
Has his progression been a little slower because of the way it went, like early on in his IL stint, where he got to the point where he was off the mound but had to shut it down? Is that kind of part of?
Yeah, it has gone slower than I think than we all initially expected. But that's where, you start picking up the baseball and you don't feel good, and then we had to kind of, push pause. And so from the initial, injury or whatever, so kind of, yeah, it's been slower. But I think that right now, Blake, in talking to him the last few days, he's in a really good spot physically and mentally.
Where he was ahead of Blake a little bit.
Yeah, he's just we're on pause right now. So he's out there playing catch, or not pause. He's playing catch. I'm not sure when he's going to get back on a mound. Our hope is that it'll be soon, somewhat in the same time frame as Blake.
Did something happen after the last?
He just had some discomfort, and we just kind of, at that moment in time, pushed pause. Yeah.
Discomfort in the shoulder?
Yeah.
How concerning is that?
No, you know what? I think it was actually, I don't think it was a shoulder. I think it was just overall body just not responding. So I stand down on the shoulder. It was just more of the body, but it wasn't the shoulder.
Just one or two bullpen
A 1.
With Roki, now he seems to be fine, like moving around and stuff. Were you guys able to figure out what the impingement was?
No, I just think that the impingement is more inflammation, and so getting that to kind of calm down. So from what I hear, playing catch, albeit at a low intensity, he's not feeling any pain. So I think that we've kind of knocked that out, and seeing him run around, and each day he looks a lot more physical, which is great. So I think I like our plan.
Has he started like the long toss progression?
No. I think he's out to call it, maybe 120, something like that at the most.
Just circling back on Glasnow, just the fact that, once again, trying to ramp back up, but he still has some aches and pains. How concerning is that?
That's probably more of like, with Tyler, it's just kind of, and I say this speaking for him, I know he's just as frustrated as we all are as far as the process over, the last, since we've had him. It just hasn't been linear as far as getting him back, and he wants to get back and help. So threw his one pen, and then body didn't respond, and so we're trying to figure out when we can ramp him back up. So he's chomping at the bit. So that's a good thing, but I know he can't. He's very anxious to get back out here and help his team.
Is Kirby still moving in the right direction?
Kirby had a good pen today. I watched it. I think we've got a live session scheduled for Wednesday, and then if that goes well, then there's a potential to activate him this weekend.
With Kopech, did the results that he put up down in Kopech concern you at all, or can you dismiss those?
You know what? I think that they certainly weren't great. I think that we've got to appreciate that this is a guy that's logged a lot of service time, and I think that the stuff is still good, and you're betting the fact that the focus, that it'll be a lot better once he's here, and the interest becomes more focused interest.
So when you look at him face to face, you reevaluate him this week, are you just wanting to see that he's healthy, or is there something beyond that?
I think wanting to see that he's healthy, which I think that we know and we feel confident with that, and just kind of getting with our coaches, our trainers, and kind of see where he's at physically, mentally, and where we're at in the pen, quite frankly, to see if there's an activation, if activating him makes sense.
So you see his command as in AAA as potentially being something more of like just the process of building up?
Possibly. It hasn't been good, but I think that he's not really a command guy. He's stuff over command, and there's a sequencing component that he wasn't doing, they weren't doing, just kind of really just getting the fastball, built up, the velocity. So there's things that we feel that we're not too concerned if we choose to activate him.
This might be a silly question, but is that like you see through a bullpen you'd have him do with you guys, or would you do like another live session with him here?
He would do a bullpen. I don't think he would do the live session on Wednesday. I think he would be a pen, or get here, feel good, and then we can activate him. Correct. Thanks, guys.